Thank you for tuning in to our full moon astrological broadcast. We are going to talk about the full moon alongside with the reset, what's going on with the pound and the dollar. We are also going to tap into the energy of Mercury shadow period, which is really important to understand how this affects us. Now, before I continue, let me just say to you, the truth has no destination. The truth is a continuous journey. So you are constantly on a journey to discovering the truth. And that truth is a feeling. And you've got to listen to your feelings because that guides you into the next truth, which is how your intuition is literally building you into the next position in your life. So before we go into this full moon and how it's going to affect you, if you want to get an astrological reading, you can slide straight to the top of the page, click orgone-energy.com, and then go straight to astrological readings to go straight into your birth chart and to see what's happening in your life. Now, I'm also going to be at the Mind, Body, Soul, which is going to be this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So if you want to get your organites, like this organite tower buster at the back, then you can always come along. I'm going to have necklaces and all types of protection. So please do come along if you have the time. It's at Alexandra Palace in London. A lot of tongue tied today, but it doesn't matter. We're going to keep going. So basically, let us go into this full moon and how this energy of the reset is taking place with the pound, and give you some information on what to do and how you can boost your vitality during this time. So what we got is we have this full moon in the sign of Pisces, and we're going to get this only once because Jupiter, the biggest planet, which is in the sign of Pisces, is going to be alongside the moon. And this means that it's releasing extreme amount of emotions. The full moon is going to be on October the 9th, and it's going to be about emotions. And this is why I said the truth is in what you feel, and the journey is a constant change of feelings. And so the destination actually never ends. So you just have to listen to your feelings. So Pisces is the sign which connects to our emotions and how we tap into our feelings and how we release our feelings and our emotions. Now, Jupiter, the biggest planet, houses the sign of Pisces, meaning that it rules the sign of Pisces. So everything is going to be felt at its extreme, and knowing the truth in what we are feeling is going to be notified during the 9th of October. Now, this is very important because what this involves is the financial system, but also it also involves the spiritual side. So though there is this financial crisis, there's also a spiritual element to it. And so I want to focus on both, because in life, we can't have just the positive, we have to accept the negative. The positive side to this is that you can tap into your dreams and really understand what the vision is and what your dream is trying to say. This is a great time to see which direction you want to see your life. If you want to go deeper into your spiritual practice, this is a great time to connect with your spiritual makeup and understand who you are and where you want to go spiritually, whether it's astral projecting, past life regression, or going more into the psychological response of your mind. So this is a great time to be responsible, to take your spirituality to the next place. Now let us go into this full moon. The full moon is in this place called Revati, and Revati represents this feminine quality, and this divine feminine quality is governed by the flying elephant, and the flying elephant is able to bring opportunity in different realms. So the reason why the flying elephant has wings, and the wings allows you to travel through different dimensions. Now within this segment where the full moon is, where it's in a place called Revati, is governed by Mercury, and it's so important because Mercury is the intellect, and this is where Mercury has wings. Mercury is supposed to be the angel closest to the sun, as we know. So what happens is, because of this, Mercury is Michael, and Michael represents that angel. And so what happens here is that Mercury is trying to see beyond dimensions through psychedelically connecting to the different realms of the cosmos. So while the full moon is being activated right next to Jupiter, we're seeing how this energy is pronouncing itself at its highest. And Jupiter takes 12 years to return back to Pisces. And so this is a very important full moon because this is the highlight of the moon at its fullest in the sign of Pisces, which is going to release an important segment related to the reset, and which I'm going to talk about right now so you can get a clearer understanding with what's happening with the world, because obviously people are concerned with the Ukraine war, and they're also concerned about the pound and the dollar. So let us go into that so you're going to get a clear indication and a clear date signification. And also, whenever I do readings, I also give the exact dates of events because it's important to understand how these things work. So let me give you the exact dates of these events. So first and foremost, this is from a newspaper. This is April 1932, and this shows us how the bank failed during that time. Now, in this newspaper, the date is at the bottom, April the 26th, as you can see. So if you want to do your research, on April the 26th, 1932, what happened was Saturn was in Capricorn, and this is when the banks crashed. And so this time round, they've done it with the banks. This time round, I do not believe that it's going to be with the banks, but I definitely feel that it's going to be related to the exchange rates. So the dollar has gone higher than the pound, so there's an exchange rate taking place in this new world because the planets are placed in different positions. They say history repeats itself, yes, because Saturn is in Capricorn, and Saturn represents the Lord of the entire universe, we could say, because Saturn governs the final results. So in that sense, the results are always going to be different because Saturn represents time. So meaning that history repeats itself is related to the time that Saturn rules the earth. So Saturn rules the earth in time. So that's what I'm trying to say. So this was the time when it went down. So now Saturn is in Capricorn again in the same placement, and the same objective is being formed. So I'm just trying to give you the insight, not to say that Saturn hasn't been in Capricorn in the last, because it takes 28 years for Saturn to go into Capricorn. So it has gone into Capricorn, but this one is very significant because we are dealing with a reset here, and it's connected to these planetary alignments of what just happened with the Queen. So let me go deeper into this. So Saturn has been in Capricorn since 2020 when the pandemic started, and we notice how it's affected our financial, transformation. So the first thing I want to say is that the Queen died on the 8th of September. Now, this was in alignment with Leo, which represents that royalty. When she died, the results of that ended up being that that was during a waxing moon. So the moon was building and the moon was about to be full. Then when the moon released itself, just was around the full moon, which just went the previous full moon. What happened was the pound crashed. So the Queen's death was a signification for the pound to crash in connection to the great effects of this reset. So in relationship to that, as the pound crashes, what we're seeing, the end results are going to be in Mercury. So this happened during Mercury retrograde, that the pound crashed, and the Queen died just when Mercury was about to go retrograde. So that was 2 days after Mercury went retrograde. When Mercury went retrograde, 2 days after, the Queen basically had already died. But that energy of Mercury is what is going to be very important for this full moon because it's in Revati, which means it governs this portion of Mercury in the fixed stars. So what happens as a result? Well, simple. So what happens is that when Mercury comes out of the shadow period, which is going to be on the 17th of October, what we're seeing at that point is that the relationship between when the Queen died, which was on the 8th, and the 17th is going to be the end result of what's to take place. And to kind of add into this, Saturn, which is the planet which governs time, as we mentioned before, is going to do what? It's going to go forward. So Saturn has been retrograde since literally summer. So the result of this is also going to be shown because the eclipse is going to precisely show us what is taking place. So the very important dates are actually going to be between the 8th, which happened in September, and the 17th of this month. So the 17th of this month is important because we are shown how Mercury will finally give its results, because the full moon always releases energy, and the full moon is not really a time of manifesting. The full moon is a time of releasing. So you're releasing energy. The new moon is about bringing in, and hence why I didn't do a new moon video, because what we found is that this new moon was during Mercury retrograde, which was really intense. So many people have probably noticed that it has been very intense because of so many planets being retrograde and affecting our state of being. So let me go deeper into this full moon. Now I've given you an insight of this reset, and so I'm seeing that during the eclipse, the new moon eclipse, there might be a loss. So how will this reset affect you? Well, when will it be? That is the question that I can't tell you, but I can surely say that it will be related to the pound crashing, and we might see the aspect of the dollar doing something. Remember that the dollar is governed by China, and sorry, America, but China has a strong pull into that, and China is connected to all of this, as we know, and all the other countries which are using the dollar. So the pound has a very significant crash in connection to this. And so whatever's going on is going to be really, really interesting, but it's surely going to be around the time when Saturn moves forward, because the last crash, which happened in 1932, was when Saturn was forward. And so when Saturn moves forward, or when a planet moves forward, things become actual, and things actually show themselves very evidently. So we're going to see the final result during the eclipse, because it's going to be a K2 eclipse. So it's about letting go of a precise information or subject. So going back into this full moon, because I guess most people want to understand how this full moon is going to affect them. So this full moon is a hunting moon. So the hunting moon means to hunt, literally to hunt, to bring financial resources. So what are we hunting for? We are hunting to let go of a particular subject or object or feeling. So it's going to be an emotional one, because we're going to be releasing literally emotions during this full moon. In connection to that, what I was saying is pay attention to your dreams. Your dreams are going to really incite you during this full moon. Also pay attention to your spiritual practice. What is it that is not working? How can you connect more to that to understand what ain't working and how you can develop that skill? So one of the keys to this is to really get yourself a journal and write down what is coming up during this full moon, which is going to be on the 9th. What is coming up? And you want to observe that from the 8th all the way down to the 10th of October. That will give you some strong insight to what is coming up. Now, again, what I wanted to say in connection to this full moon is that history always repeats itself. And so the way it repeats itself is through Saturn. But the truth is, because it's Jupiter, really tap into what your beliefs are about yourself and about the world around you. The Mercury retrograde has affected relationships. So many people have kind of gathered that there's been issues with relationships, and also it has also affected your communication and your mind. If you are a Virgo, a Libra, a Pisces, or an Aquarius moon or sun, you will notice that you have been affected with some type of relationship. And trying to understand this a bit more, you're coming to the end of it. Libra is the sign which is coming out of this heavy relationship situation. So we're talking, I'm kind of giving Virgo Libra because most people are tuning into Western astrology, which is out of sync, as you know. But we are kind of giving you the insight related to it in a different form. So basically, this is what you want to be really tuned into. It's about how are you dealing with relationships, and everything related to confusion with regards to relationship and finance is going to become clearer from the 17th, when Mercury finally relieves this shadow period, because this full moon is going to express what it is that you must release in order to see the form which is going to happen on the 17th of October, just before the new moon. So the new moon eclipse is going to be really vital, as you know. And this is going to be really interesting because it's going to really take form into what this order, this new, you could say this new structure of the world, how it's going to manifest. So now we know exactly what is taking place. So again, the truth is not a destination. The truth is in a continuous journey. Be in tune with the journey. Listen to the inner voice that is guiding you throughout every feelings, because the truth is in what you feel. And again, because the truth is in what you feel, you are able to move towards the right direction. Because let me tell you something. Before you was born, you was in the womb. And that womb was in complete darkness. This represents, we could say, the black hole. And that energy then releases itself, and then you come into chaos. And this is why you can see me. Every preparation, every aspect of your life was formed in the womb. And because of that, the result is that you are here experiencing life. And all you have to do now is just pay attention to the feeling, because you already knew when you was in the womb how to form every parts of you, where you was going to go, and your destination was already written in the womb. Because at the time of birth was the time that chaos started. And so your life is already written. So when people say, I want to manifest something, guess what? You are already manifesting. You've already manifested, I should say. And all you're doing is catching up to what you're manifesting, which was in the womb in the first place. So when you said, oh, I attracted this, no, you already attracted it in the womb. You're just fine-tuning it right now and making it actual. So don't worry about anything. The only thing that you should be worrying about is if you're listening to your intuition. And that is all that I wanted to leave you with. So thank you for tuning in to our full moon astrological forecast. And may the universe be with your wishes, as this is what it's all about during this full moon on October the 9th, 9:40 GMT time. Peace.